Welcome. Let your body move however it wants to arrive before we flow into a single pose. A stretch, a shake, a sway, a slow roll through the neck and shoulders. Whatever motion says, I am here now. After hours and hours of stillness, indulge in some movement on your own terms. Land into your own skin. Today's word is arrival. Imagine landing in Tokyo after a 14-hour flight. Half a day still ahead of you before rest. This flow is built for that exact moment. Body still humming with altitude. Mind not yet caught up to where your feet have landed. The central image is Mei's Shrine's forest, planted by volunteer hands a century ago, and grown deliberately into something indistinguishable now from a forest that was always there. It sits inside Tokyo's loudest, newest district like a held breath. The opening 4 movements borrow loosely from something called makkō-hō, and the whole flow lives inside a word called ma, the pause between 2 notes. The gap that makes the music. You'll meet both, a little at a time, as we go. One quick element note, this practice has been imbued with the element of water in the traditional 5-element framework. Water governs the kidneys and bladder, the low back and bones, and the felt sense of depth. Props you might enjoy during this practice include 1 strap, 2 pillows, or a folded blanket and a wall. Find a comfortable seat, cross-legged or kneeling with a pillow between your heels, whatever your hips ask to unfold. Hands rest on your knees, palms up, open palms as an antenna, a way of saying, I'm here. I'm listening. Let your eyes close. Breathe in the fullest breath you've taken since you left home. Hold it a moment. Exhale everything. Let your shoulders believe it. You've crossed an ocean of sky to get here. Indulge in a small release for the neck. Let one ear drift towards its shoulder, gentle inches. Breathe. Return to center. Let the other ear drift to its shoulder mate. Breathe. And center again. This is our first bow in makkō-hō, a grounded, seated breath. No target here, except presence itself. Stay in the same seat, spine tall, hands still, open on your knees. Breathe low into your belly, into the water element's home just beneath your navel. Arrive. Arrive into your own skeleton, your muscles, tendons, organs, the water pumping through you. Now for our second bow, a seated forward fold targeting the whole back line of the legs, heel to hip. Extend both legs long in front of you, feet together or hip width, whatever the backs of your legs prefer after so much sitting. Perhaps a folded blanket under your hips. Fold forward Hands resting wherever they land, shins, ankles, floor. Round or flat-backed, your choice. The whole water meridian runs down the back of the leg from heel to hip. And let gravity ask it to lengthen. Nothing to force. Just an old road to be walked. Our third bow, a wide-legged fold targeting the inner thighs and groin. Open your legs wide into a V, feet flexed or relaxed. Fold forward between them, hands walking out ahead of you or resting on the floor. Imagine traveling the length of a country in an ocean without moving your legs at all. Let your hips remember what it feels like to open like a compass. This is our fourth and final bow, a supported reclined backbend targeting the chest and the whole front line of the body. Slide a bolster or pillow lengthwise beneath your back and lie back over it. Keep your knees bent, feet flat for a gentle lift, not a deep arch. Nothing like the unsupported backbends of makkō-hō's fuller form. Or allow them to stretch out long. Let your arms rest wherever feels easy. Feel your chest open just slightly. Imagine inspiring your next breath toward the ceiling of this new country. Imagine being folded up like a paper map for 14 hours and let yourself unfold with ease and purpose. This practice is not a strict replica of any single teacher's lineage. The historical record of makkō-hō itself is a little contested, and it's offered as a plain grounding gesture in that spirit. Seated, simple, front to back, breath-led. Think of it as a bow towards the practice's root. Imagine traditions branching and flowering. Roll off the pillow gently and come to lying on your back, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And set that pillow aside for now. We'll want it again soon. Constructive rest here is immediately restful, allowing the low back and sacrum to arrive. Feel the floor beneath you. Imagine this exact patch of earth is Tokyo. Begin tiny circles with your pelvis as if tracing the face of a clock with your tailbone. Small circles, unhurried, both directions, and let the circle travel into a spinal wave, upward into your low back and ribs. Slow wave cresting up the length of your spine. Let one side lengthen a little more than the other if that's what it's asking for. Give all your parts and pieces room. 100,000 trees donated from across Japan, planted in 1920 to become what's called an Ayan no Mori, an eternal forest, self-sustaining within a single human lifetime. Now let's flow into a strap sequence, 3 small journeys for one leg at a time. Moving through the back of the leg, the inner thigh and the outer hip in turn. Loop the strap around the sole of one foot, straighten the leg toward the ceiling, up, the back of the leg, a tree trunk unfolding and growing tall. Breathe into the back of the knee. Slowly lower the leg out to the side, keeping the strap taut, letting the opposite hip stay heavy on the floor, out, the inner thigh, and something else too. A small act of trust, letting one part of you bend away from the center while the rest of you stays rooted. Draw the leg back to center and then across your body to the opposite side, letting that hip lift slightly, far shoulder staying grounded. Across the outer hip, the IT band, a twist, untangling. Release the strap, bring the leg down, and change sides. Loop the strap around the other foot and bring that leg up. and out. Across. Feel your hip lift however much it wants to, and let your low back loosen. Release the strap, set it aside, hug both knees to your chest for a breath or two, and let gravity carry you into reclined butterfly, targeting inner thighs, groin, your low belly. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees falling open. If you wish, slide your pillow beneath your spine or your knees if they'd like the support. And let gravity do its slow work. Hands can rest on your belly, on your heart, or open at your sides, palms up, that receptive gesture of arrival. And breathe into the places this pose opens. Meiji Shrine's forest was planted by hands that never expected to sit beneath its shade. And that's not so different from this, something planted today in a jet-lagged body on a tatami-adjacent floor. Breathe into an intention like I arrive serenely into this moment. An intention whose real growth you won't feel until later on in your journey. Let this moment just be the planting. Trees don't rush their own growing, and neither need you. Now we drift into twisted roots, targeting the low back, sacrum, and outer hip. Push into the balls of your feet to shift your hips a few inches to one side. Bend your knees and cross your offset leg over the other, or keep your knees side by side, letting them both fall gently to the side, resting on a pillow if there's any distance to close. Those shifted hips help create space in the spine. Extend one arm wide, the other may rest lightly on your knee. Let the low back soften into this rotation, breath sinking into your sacrum, arriving into an angle other than upright. Ma is the gap between shoji screams that lets a room breathe. It's the held beat between an inhale and whatever comes next. Arrival is a kind of ma, not airborne, not quite landed, just this, a threshold. Unwind slowly. Shift your hips to the other side, knees to center, crossing or leaving the knees stacked. And twist. Same pose, same target, mat fresh on this side. Breathe into whatever it offers you. The slow, patient work of water, dripping. Rain flowing around rocks, finding its way eventually to the sea. Let's take one more pose before our final rest. Legs up the wall, targeting the circulation of lymph through the legs and ankles, draining the fluid of travel. Scoot your seat close to a wall and swing your legs up it, low back settling toward the floor. If it would rather have a small lift, tuck a folded blanket beneath your hips. And melt. Let your ankles soften. Slowly pump your feet, flexing and pointing. A few unhurried rounds. An invitation to whatever the tide of travel has pooled here to drain back toward your heart. This is the most literal water work of the whole practice. Imagine 14 hours of gravity reversing. You arrive, technically, the moment your plane touches down, but arrival is not a single moment. The word itself, arrive, comes from an old root meaning simply to come to shore. The word holds the crossing of an ocean, condenses it to the very edge, the threshold. Imagine you are stepping off a boat right now, one droplet at a time, upside down against a wall. Perhaps this moment of arrival is a country you've dreamt about for years. Let your legs come down slowly, roll to one side and rest here a moment before finding your back again for stillness. And we will settle all the way into our final Shavasana, integration. Allow your whole body to settle into the floor, into this room, into a place that was, until today, simply your imagination. Feel into the whole flight that brought you here. The actual one, the emotional one, allowed at last to land. That gap you've been holding, that tension, that breath held, can close now, can release, resolving. Some water is loud. Rivers, tides, an ocean crossed at 35,000 feet. And some water is very quiet. The kind that fills 100,000 tree roots, one slow year at a time, until decades later, a forest stands where there was once bare ground. Let yourself become that second kind of water. Quiet, patient, already, secretly, becoming a forest. Begin to deepen your breath, wiggle fingers and toes, and when you're ready, roll to one side and rise slowly to a comfortable seat. Hand to heart, feel it beating, still after everything, the flight, the arrival, the practice that closes your gaps. Sure enough, sure enough, you have arrived. I see your light. I honor you.